Hello Team 3, it's Mrs Nicholson here with today's RSHE lesson. This term in RSHE, we are learning about dreams and goals. Today, we will be focusing on overcoming challenges and achieving goals to reach success. We're going to think about people's feelings and attitudes when they are faced with challenges. On the next few slides, you'll see some pictures, and I want you to think about whether the person in the picture is facing a challenge and what that challenge might be. If you have someone at home with you, a mum, a dad, a big brother or sister, perhaps you can talk about the pictures together. Here's a picture of a little boy. Is anybody in this picture facing a challenge? Perhaps the little boy is deaf and finds learning and making friends tricky. Is anybody in this picture facing a challenge, do you think? Maybe she's about to complete a swimming challenge. She might be scared of water or can't swim at all. What about this picture? Is anybody facing a challenge here? Maybe he has to write a story but has no ideas on what to write it about. Or perhaps he hurt his hand or finds writing tricky altogether. Is anybody in this picture facing a challenge? The other children may be being mean to the boy. Perhaps he is being bullied. The boy might be sad, alone and afraid of the other children. Is anybody in this picture facing a challenge? Perhaps this boy's poorly or had to have an operation. Maybe he's scared of having to stay in hospital. And the final picture, is anybody here facing a challenge? Maybe this person has hiked to the top of a mountain. Maybe they did it for charity. Look at all the pictures now. What challenges may these people be facing? Which person do you think is facing the biggest challenge of all? Who do you think will face their challenge the most successfully? Your task today is to pick one of the photos you have looked at and thought about already. You can use the RS resource sheet to remind yourself of these photos. You'll find these in the teams. Your job is to write a short story for the person facing the challenge. You will need to introduce the person. You can make up a name for them if you like, and explain what their challenge is. Describe how the person feels about facing the challenge. Describe how the person achieves the challenge. And finally, describe how the person feels when they have been successful. Try and write a sentence for each point. This does not have to go into any of your books. You can complete this on a piece of paper or type it out in Microsoft Word to send it directly to your teacher on Teams. Let's have a look at a few waggles. Remember, a waggle stands for what a good one looks like. This is Chris. He's recently moved and had to start a new school. He has no friends and worries everyone is talking about him. Chris feels lonely, afraid and sad. Chris is scared but takes a deep breath and asks the other children if he can play with them at break time. They say yes. Chris now feels happy and accepted. Here's another waggle I wrote. This is Lily. Lily can't swim and is scared of the water. She wants to learn so that she can swim with her friends in the summer. She feels angry at herself. Lily explains her feelings to her parents who book her into weekly swimming lessons. Lily works hard at her lessons and makes progress. After a few months, Lily could finally swim. She was so proud of herself and incredibly happy. Now it's your turn to pick one of these pictures and make up a story about the person in the picture and their challenges, how they feel and how they overcome them. Pause the video and come back when you have finished. Now that you've finished writing your own story, can you think of a challenge that you have been faced with and succeeded in overcoming? How did you overcome this challenge? How did it make you feel? Remember to send your work, your stories, to your teachers via the chat function in Teams. So if you're in Kilmar, to Mrs. Marks, If you're in Trewartha, to Mrs. Hendy, and if you're in Tregarrick, to Mr. Davy, and if you're in Beara, to Mrs. Hepplewhite, who's under Bartlett on Teams, and myself, Mrs. Nicholson. Well done. Really good RSHE learning today, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.